What up, everybody? I hope all of you are enjoying your Royal Rumble day, as I will be. Now, I'm not going to give any predictions because I just don't feel like doing that. I mean, it could go in so many directions. I have my ideas of who I'd like to win it, but, that's neither here nor there. Now, before I get into story time, and what a jam-packed story time edition it is, let me first talk about the shirt. The W&S podcast, the Wrestling News Source podcast. And I've been on the show a couple of times. What's up, Doug, Danny, and Tyler? Really like their work. Enjoyed being on their podcast. It's not the only podcast I listen to, but I am a fan of their work. And, they support me, so it's only right that I support them. So, guys, thanks again for all the work that you do. Really like your podcast, and keep watching. So, now, also, on Facebook, my friend Steve Bucket actually asked me a question, and this will kind of bleed over into a little bit of the topic before the story time. And he asked me my opinions, had I been to Metroplex Wrestling or MPX, and what my thoughts were. And the truth is, I hadn't been there for a couple of years. I'd seen their stuff on YouTube and went to their website, and back then, and saw that they had merch, and saw that they were doing certain things that I really liked. And so while me and Justin were doing Behind the Curtain, I suggested, hey, let's go up there. It's in the Metroplex, my old stomping grounds. That would be kind of cool. Maybe probably go talk to the bussies while we're there and actually catch the show. And I was really impressed. They had, prior to the show, they had a kind of a highlight video that would catch you up. So if you've never been there, they would catch you up. The venue is what it is, but it was packed, and people seemed to really enjoy the show, and I liked the show and interacting with the talent after and doing interviews and whatnot. And I actually hit them up about possibly going up there. Now, nothing ever came of it, but I wish all those guys the best. I see some of the guys that are behind the scenes working there, and a lot of the talent, some great talent, some guys I'd probably want to work, probably some guys on my bucket list, whether I've worked them in the past or have never worked them. It'd be pretty interesting. There's some guys out there. So yeah. Now, as far as the bucket list, not going to necessarily be a list of names or promotions. I've thrown out feelers here and there. I know there are guys who've put me on their bucket list, and they're probably on mine as well. I'm just at the point now, as far as bucket list, or as far as this time in my career, where it's quality over quantity. I don't want to necessarily have to work a lot of shows or a lot of different promotions. I've been there, I've done that. I prefer to work, places that, that drive my interest, that interest me. Whether it's with talent or a creative storyline, or it's a promotion that's really doing something that really catches my eye or, piques my mind. Like I said, there are a few people I'd like to wrestle. There are a few out there. There's guys that I've worked in the past that are like, man, I would love to get in the ring with them again. And there's some guys that I see in other promotions, whether it be NWA Houston or BOW or RCW or ACW or MPX, or on the East Coast or up north or, on the West Coast. There's guys that do YouTube videos as well that it's like, oh man, it'd be cool to kind of see what we could do. And I've mentioned there are a few companies out there I'd like to work for, and that I've worked for in the past and maybe didn't like my run or didn't like how I performed and wanted to go back and kind of show what I could do. There's some that I haven't worked for that I'd be really interested in working with. That's really about the only feeler I would throw out there. It's more, I was brought up to where you don't approach the promoter approaches you, or the booker approaches you. You don't call them and bug them. If they want to, and they see you and they like you, or they think you have something, and I've been a booker, so I know the mentality as far as, and I know what it's like to work on a budget and whatnot, and I know how times can be. But at the same time, man, I just be interested in getting approached as opposed to approaching. Now, throwing out a feeler kind of like this, or letting people know, hey man, if there's a promotion there and you think that I could add to it, then hey, let them know. Hey, bring in Steve DeMarco. He's a hell of a talent, or he's really entertaining, or he could bring in people, or whatever have you. I mean, I'm negotiable. It's not always necessarily financial. I mean, there is a payoff, and you have to kind of ask yourself, what is the payoff? It's not necessarily always financial. I get the times. I mean, I know times can be tough, and you know, high dollar talent, man, I know it's not as appealing as someone who's going to work for less. So it's not always financial for me. Sometimes it's who I'm working, or what you're going to bring me in for, or you know, do I have a relationship with you, or have I had one in the past? Have I enjoyed working for you, or is there something about your promotion that really, like, again, piques my interest and makes me want to join? But yeah, I mean, I've thrown out feelers here and there. I've talked to certain talent at certain shows. I get asked often about appearing on shows, and it's always the same thing. Like, hey, if a promoter wants to hit me up, awesome, I'd be down. Just hit me up. You never know. You never know until you ask. And at the same time, who knows? As we progress, maybe I'll be the one reaching out to them and going, hey, look, I'd really be interested. Let's make this happen. But as of right now, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at and the things that I'm doing. The lengthy title runs that I had to close out 2013. Just what's on the horizon. And, you know, I definitely would like to mark some stuff off my bucket list before it's all said and done. So maybe I'll really share with you the true bucket list down the road. Now, as far as story time, again, jam-packed show, about 30 minutes or so of footage. And, you know, I was coming off a pretty good time. I just vanquished my nemesis and kind of made it known to the champion, Mike Foxx, that I was coming. I was coming. I was ready to take him and his title, more importantly. I felt like I had a lot of momentum. And despite losing here and there, the fans were firmly behind me. The office seemingly was firmly behind me. Even after the changes and whatnot, people seemed to feel that I was a good enough talent to be there, to be in that spot, and I really appreciated it. And this would be that opportunity to work a program with Mike. And I've said it on other videos, I have immense respect for Mike Foxx as a competitor, professionally, personally, immense respect for the guy. I always looked at him as the face of PCW. I didn't look at anybody else as the face of PCW. No matter who else they gave the title to, I was like, that's Mike Foxx's company. And that's no disparaging anybody else, because I felt there's a lot of talent on that show. Just Mike was a standard bearer for a lot of us. And that's the way I looked at him. That's the way I looked at him there. And also, like, on message boards and such, like, it was him and Jared and Hernandez, who were kind of that 1A or 1B, 1C, like, each one will be the top of the top 100. I didn't necessarily get all that kinds of love on that message board, but it is what it is. Hey man, I was entertaining to the people that watched me, and people that did watch me felt I had talent. I felt I had talent, and people that worked with me enjoyed my work and enjoyed working with me, and that's really all I cared about. But Fox was one of those top guys. I mean, he was usually number one on that list, and again, if it wasn't him, it was Jared or Hernandez at that point. And I'd worked Hernandez and I'd worked Jared, and you know, great guys. But again, working with Fox, because Fox I felt was like that complete package. Great wrestler, great technician, very tough, could do pretty much anything out there, was agile, all that, and on top of all of that, had impressive mic work. He was one of those guys that really gave me a run for my money on the mic. And hence, you know, when I would hear without the main event there is no show, I always was like, look, I'm, you know, from day one, I want people to know that there is no show without Steve DeMarco. That's number one. But number two, hey Mike, I want to come after your spot. You know, so again, that's probably why I came up with the phrase, but it really was really out of a place of respect. I respected what he did. I respected his position. I felt like it was an honor to be in the same ring with him and to also compete against him. And I know prior to this, we actually teamed up with each other at one point. The sexy main event, as I would have put it, I think I'd already had the t-shirts in mind, and we, you know, when they were about to crown new tag team champions, and we both weren't champions at that point, I felt like, oh, there's potential there, because we don't like each other, but we'll make it work. But it was not meant to be. And I just remember just having a blast at that point. And having fun, and that was really right before, you know, a potential dark period for me. But right then and there, man, wasn't asking questions, just enjoying coming to work, and now I get the opportunity to face Mike Foxx. A match that you kind of see in pieces, or, you know, kind of put together to music. I uploaded it a while back, back in March of 2008, and you know, I got about nearly 1,500 views on YouTube. But you know, one of the things that was brought to my attention was people wanted to hear the commentary, more of the commentary, and kind of see more of the match. But back then, you only had about it, you know, when I was released it, I only had about 10 minutes and 20 seconds of actual time allowed to put as far as the video goes. And I didn't want to cut it up into parts. I wanted it in its entirety. So, now before I show the video, because I plan on showing the match in its entirety, I think it's roughly about 18 minutes, give or take, and it's one of my favorite matches that I've ever been a part of. The thing was, I wanted, this match was so special to me, the opportunity was so special to me, you know, that I amped up my training even more. I'd been on this, really on this crescendo, and it was upward climb, and I just was increasing the work that I would do in the gym and in the ring. And I wanted to look good. So I actually went to a gear maker. Now, we didn't have a gear maker at PCW. You had to pretty much get your gear made, and so I went to someone who made me this great like pant and hoodie, and then made me some trunks, and you know, helped alter my kick pads, and I think I still have those kick pads, and I still have like the pant and the hoodie, and sometimes I'll wear that stuff. The trunks, however, I lost along the way. I mean, that's what happens when you move as much as I did. But I wasn't going to be outdone. You know, Mike Foxx wouldn't allow me to be outdone. He was doing his own thing. He had a great outfit in his own right as ring gear, or entrance gear. One of my fondest memories leading up to it was also getting to work with Mike, not, you know, somewhat in the gym, but also in the ring, like getting kind of feel each other out, trying to figure out our timing and how this match was going to go. We both were really motivated to make this match something special, something that people talked about. Genocide, it was arguably one of our biggest shows, if not our biggest show of the year. You know, definitely the very first DVD taping of the year. And, you know, I think we both wanted to go out there and give these fans a classic match. And it was great talking with him and working with him and kind of getting in his mindset as how he put matches together, and him getting in my mindset. And I think it really helped. It helped with our chemistry. I mean, we had great chemistry before that, and probably the match would have been awesome either way, but just that added dimension of getting to work with each other and kind of feeling each other out as far as where certain points of the match would go and where we saw it going, where we imagined the fans, you know, the ride we're taking them on, you know, could we see them enjoying it? Now, there was one thing about this when it was all said and done. The way they put it out on TV was, it was 2 weeks of television. We were the main event of the first week. We weren't the main event of the night, however, that we filmed. That belonged to AJ Styles, who was making his return. Now TNA's kind of running with some momentum. You had him against Jared Steele, well-decorated guy, and Eddie Atlas, kind of quote-unquote the future of the company for all intents and purposes. I mean, that's where they saw Eddie at. So I could see it from that standpoint, but I think we Fox and I probably believed that our match should have been the main event of the night, only because, I mean, it was for the title. But, you know, you get it, and that probably added fuel to us as far as, okay, well, we're just going to steal the show and make it impossible for them to ignore it, and to see that we deserve to be in the main event. Because again, you got main event Mike Fox and the guy who says there's no show without him for the title. And man, so it's my pleasure to show you the match in its entirety. Mike Fox, Steve DeMarco, Genocide 2004.
Genocide Part 1 continues here at PCW Arena. Rob Moore along with Newman, and Newman, we've seen one title change. Can lightning strike twice?
Rob Moore, Genocide is proving to be one of the most exciting shows in professional championship wrestling history, ladies and gentlemen. The World Championship on the line right now, making his way to the ring. The main event, Mike Fox, the current champion.
And of course, next week, more great matches. We'll tell you more about those a little bit later on. Next week, of course, Part 2 of Genocide. But right now, yes, there he is in all his splendor, the PCW World Heavyweight Champion. Main event Mike Fox, along with his personal assistant, as we have the arrival of his opponent for tonight, Sexy Steve DeMarco.
Sexy Steve DeMarco, Rob, trying to make a quest and become one of the few people to ever hold at one point in time, the heavyweight championship, and also to have held at one point in time, the light heavyweight championship.
Well, indeed, if he wins tonight, I believe he will be the first man in PCW history to have won both titles.
You would know, Rob. You've been around since the first wrestling match ever.
Indeed, Jacob and the Angel. I remember it well. Rick Manning draws the referee assignment for this one, and that's a new outfit for Steve DeMarco. Well, he's never seen that one before.
Well, if you want to get in the ring with the likes of the main event Mike Fox, you know how he dresses in his arrogant, pompous, is that even a word? Pompous, I guess, is the word I was trying to say, Rob. You just go ahead and take over.
Okay, well, that would lead to the pompousness of love, but we'll talk about Steve Miller a little bit later.
Again, you've been around since the beginning of time.
Oh, there we go, once again with the 70s references. Hey, I lived through it. I lived through disco.
I love the 70s, Rob. That's when I was born.
There you go. Well, Steve DeMarco wants ownership of that belt.
Yeah, right.
Indeed. He wants to beat Mike Fox. There has been so much leading up to this match, so much back and forth between these two men.
The main event, Mike Fox, Rob, has held the title since he took it off the hands of Shadow. Many men have stepped in the ring and tried to take it from him. I don't know what Sexy Steve DeMarco thinks he has different. I do know that Sexy Steve was talking in the back earlier today that he has something special for the main event tonight.
You know, I think I heard the same thing. You know, one of his pet maneuvers, the Sexified, I understand he's been working on a special version of the Sexified just for Mike Fox. Irish whip into the ropes. Fox ducks under the clothesline, and Fox goes behind DeMarco now. Trying to pull him off the ropes, but DeMarco held on, and Fox goes over the top rope. He holds on, though. Lands on the apron. Shoulder to the midsection. Fox flipping over. Moving very quickly here, but a high kick takes Fox down.
Well, Rob, it might have stunned Mike Fox. I doubt he's going to take it down. This match will probably go, until the end of the night, Rob. Both of these guys, trained athletes with endurance, Rob.
And look at this. DeMarco turns it around on Fox. Hard knife-edge chop to the chest. And DeMarco with another chop, beating the living daylights out of the pectoral muscles of Mike Fox.
Rob Moore, you can hear those knife-edge chops ricochet from pillar to post, to steal your phrase.
Arm drag takedown and a hip toss by DeMarco. And look at this, he's got the man hooked and a snap suplex on top for the cover, but only a 2 count.
Well, Sexy Steve DeMarco obviously doing all that he can to put it into this match early, because I think if he's going to make his move, he should probably do that in the beginning stages, because the further we get in this match, Rob, I think if it's a fight, the main event's going to win, but if it's a wrestling match, Sexy Steve, might turn some heads.
And indeed, DeMarco turning Mike Fox's head every which way but loose with that head scissors, taking him out of the ring, and there's Fox on the floor. Steve DeMarco definitely has the support of the fans who have packed, and I mean packed, PCW Arena tonight for Genocide.
Rob Moore, few times have I seen this many people in the arena. I got to tell you, a nice band playing at halftime. It's wonderful entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, full concessions. You can drink beer at the PCW Arena.
Indeed, beer is indeed served at the concession stands, but look at this.
And beautiful women, Rob.
Plenty of them around here, too. Mike Foxx looked like he was wanting to leave, but Rick Manning telling him to get himself back into the ring. And indeed, this match needs to be settled inside the ring. Here comes DeMarco. Oh, springboard off the top rope onto Fox and his personal assistant.
I wish I could have been, a little closer to the huddle there and see what was actually, the dialogue being displayed right there, Rob. But Sexy Steve DeMarco using that distraction to his advantage.
Indeed, and now Mike Foxx staggering around the ring, and Steve DeMarco is coming after him, but Fox was waiting for him. Oh, chop to the chest. You can hear that one all over Arlington. And now DeMarco going after Fox, whipping him into the railing. Steve DeMarco out to prove that he can not only be a light heavyweight champion as he was in the past, as we mentioned, but also he could be the PCW World Heavyweight Champion. DeMarco now sizing his man up, getting the support of the fans, which he definitely has here. And wait a second. Mike Fox's personal lackey grabbing a hold of the foot.
Oh, that's his personal assistant?
Personal assistant, lackey.
I thought Jayla.
Brown noser.
I thought Mike Fox's old girlfriend Jayla started smoking.
Oh, look at that.
Crack.
Or grown a beard or something. I don't know. But Steve DeMarco going after Mike Foxx once again on the floor, head first into the apron.
Now, Rob, I've seen some ugly guys in my day. I'm confident enough to say that, secure enough to say that. I do sit next to you weekly. But Mike Fox's assistant has got to be, it looks like somebody beat him 2 times with the ugly stick.
Oh, at least twice.
Who wears a velour shirt, Rob? I've seen a used automobile with nicer upholstery on the used seats.
Well, back to the action in the ring. A reversal of the whip by DeMarco, and DeMarco takes it. Oh, he's going to turn him over into the career kick.
Oh, Rob Moore, that is a blatant disregard for the man's creative endeavors.
Sheer disrespect for Mike Foxx, using his own hold against him. Fox trying to crawl over to grab the ropes, and look at this. This guy pushing the rope toward him so he can grab it. Good grief. Rick Manning telling DeMarco to let go.
Yeah, I'm noticing the main event, Mike Foxx, he's struggling a little bit to get on his feet, and as should be, Rob, the pain that just was administered to the back region of our champion has got to be something to contend with, Rob.
DeMarco having put an unnatural bend in that spine with a career killer, going after Fox once again. Fox, though, reverses the whip, and DeMarco up in the air, and he tried to go over Fox, but Fox had a foot up. He was waiting for him.
What do they call that move, Rob?
I'm not quite sure.
A mule kick?
Well, I'm not sure. That could. Oh, look at this. We're going to see the career killer put on by its primary practitioner, Mike Foxx.
Well, that's what he gets, Rob. Mike Foxx should give the sexified to Steve DeMarco.
Oh, look at this. DeMarco had him rolled up, but only a 2 count. And now look at this. He's going for a backslide.
That's it, folks.
2 and only 2. Steve DeMarco now up in the air. I think he was going for a Hurricane Rana, but Fox gave him a powerbomb instead.
Yeah, Rob, earlier when I asked you what that move was, I thought you would say the mule kick, then I was going to go, hee-haw, hee-haw, he always says that.
Well, that show was canceled anyway. Steve DeMarco out of the ring and all the way to the floor.
Kind of like this one will be if I keep doing jokes like that.
And while Mike Foxx is occupying Rick Manning in the ring, his personal assistant is out there on the floor, driving DeMarco's back into the edge of that apron and now throwing him back in the ring. That guy should not be at ringside.
Well, he's lucky DeMarco was half in the can when he did that, or he would have beat the snot out of him.
Yeah, no kidding. Mike Foxx stomping on his head now, dropping a knee and grinding his shin across the throat of DeMarco. Rick Manning certainly with no patience for moves like that, and now he's choking the man. Mike Foxx will do anything, and I mean anything, Newman.
You see what he's doing, Rob. He's using the rules to his favor. You know when you're choking your opponent, you have 5 moves to release the hold, to break the hold, and he's taking it right up to the 4 count.
Yes, indeed, Mike Foxx does know that rule book. He does know how to bend those rules to his advantage, but here comes DeMarco with a series of right hands out of the corner, driving Foxx backwards in the other corner. Irish whip reversal here. And Foxx, overhead belly-to-belly suplex by the main event.
He's going to do it right here. He keeps the championship, folks.
Only two. Only two. He does keep it, but at least for a little while longer. Scrubbing the bottom.
Look what he's doing, Rob. He's pulled the knee pad down.
Drops that kneecap right on DeMarco's head.
Sexy Steve won't be so sexy with his teeth knocked out of his mouth.
No, he wouldn't, and that would disappoint a lot of the female fans here at the arena as Fox has DeMarco hooked now, going for a vertical suplex. He's got him high, up, and down. Mike Fox very methodically handling his man here, too. Only two. Once again,
Fox looks a little disgusted, Rob. He thinks that 3 count's coming sooner than it is.
Once again, Mike Fox to his feet and dragging DeMarco by his hair over to the corner, bashing him face first into that top turnbuckle. Hard knife-edge chop by the main event, the PCW World Heavyweight Champion, putting DeMarco on that top rope. He's got one leg hooked over, and yes, he's going to hook the other leg over. He's going to go for a superplex here. DeMarco, though, driving DeMarco's back into the edge of that apron and now throwing him back in the ring. That guy should not be at ringside.
Well, he's lucky DeMarco was half in the can when he did that, or he would have beat the snot out of him.
Yeah, no kidding. Mike Fox stomping on his head now, dropping a knee and grinding his shin across the throat of DeMarco. Rick Manning certainly with no patience for moves like that, and now he's choking the man. Mike Fox will do anything, and I mean anything, Newman.
You see what he's doing, Rob. He's using the rules to his favor. You know when you're choking your opponent, you have 5 moves to release the hold or bring him around, and that just set him up perfectly for the vicious clothesline as both of the competitors are laying on the canvas.
Both men trying to get to their feet as Rick Manning administers the count. Both men are up.
That chump,
Rob. Wait a minute.
Jayla, or whatever his name is. That's not Jayla.
Chair in the ring and a sleeper hold by Mike Fox.
There's a chair in the ring, Rob.
There is indeed. The personal assistant put it in there. DeMarco with a sleeper on Fox. Fox throws him off, though. Misses with a clothesline. Double clothesline. They're both down. And once again, Rick Manning with the count.
I got to tell you, Rob, I mean, simultaneous tip-ups.
Wow. Great agility exhibited by both of these men, and DeMarco comes off there. Oh, no. Fox moved out of the way. DeMarco just nailed Rick Manning. Oh, no, the referee is down.
It reminds me of when Charlie Brown was going to kick the football and that other broad, moved it.
Yeah, Lucy, well, I'm not going to say what she is. And look at this. Northern Light suplex by Mike Fox.
That's it.
The referee count.
Somebody count this match over.
No referee to count the fall. Mike Fox trying to get Rick Manning up. And in the meantime, DeMarco back up to his feet, waiting for Fox to turn around. Oh, and down him with a sexy kick. Steve DeMarco on top with a cover of the leg hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is ridiculous.
6. Good God Almighty, still no referee.
That's not the only referee employed by this organization. Somebody needs to make the way to the ring, Rob. This is the heavyweight championship.
DeMarco going after Fox's assistant, and Fox got him. DeMarco moved out of the way. Fox goes head first on that chair, and now DeMarco, and he's, that must be that special version of the We have the PCW World Heavyweight Champion, Sexy Steve DeMarco has done it. DeMarco has won the belt.
Rob, the first man to hold the heavyweight championship belt of the world for PCW, and also to at one point in time have held the light heavyweight championship.
Man, oh man, the party is starting right now.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve. Hey, buddy. Hey, I just want to tell you, I know that belt probably feels pretty good around your waist.
Yeah, right.
But I never sent the Hey, Steve. I never sent the second ref out, and so the only fair thing to do is to restart this match.
Oh my gosh, And Thomas Bussey, the owner of PCW, ordering the match restarted. He said that he never sent out the second referee, so this match is restarting. And now Mike Foxx is throwing DeMarco back into the ring. What a short-lived celebration that was.
Rob Moore, it is no doubt the executive order has to be put in place by either the owner or the commissioner to send a new referee into a contest, and thus that rule is being executed right here. The career killer punishing Sexy Steve DeMarco.
Fox with the career killer indeed on Steve DeMarco, bending that spine very unnaturally. And, well, you know, sometimes the rules are not going to be to everybody's liking, and Thomas Bussey making the call to restart the match here. That is, you know, his prerogative as owner of PCW, but right now DeMarco's in the ropes, and Rick Manning telling Fox to let go. Oh, man. I thought we had a new champion.
Well, everybody did, Rob. It's not just yourself. I'm a little suspect of Thomas Bussey. I know he's new in the position, but maybe that wasn't the brightest decision he's made. And I say that with all due respect because he signs my check and all.
Well, of course.
The only check I get nowadays.
Yeah. How you're gone from the Eagle? My goodness.
Rob Moore, if you're going to make cracks of me being on welfare, just come out and say it.
If you're going to make cracks about me having diarrhea, never mind.
Rob, people have diarrhea every day. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But when a man is out of a full-time job, it's not nice to make jokes.
Yeah, well. Anyway, DeMarco with a backdrop on Mike Fox, and DeMarco with a side suplex on Fox.
You see that side suplex, Rob? Keep talking crap. You're going to catch one.
And a reversal of the whip, and Mike Fox going for a clothesline, but a DDT by Steve DeMarco.
Rob Moore, this is unbelievable. Sexy Steve DeMarco may end up winning the belt anyway, no matter what Thomas Bussey, the owner, tries to do.
Well, indeed, he very well may, but wait a minute, that personal assistant is in the ring. He's got the belt in hand. He misses with it, though. Sexy kick takes him out. Rick Manning trying to get that guy out of the ring, but Mike
Turn around, Sexy Steve, turn around!
Fox with the belt, oh my, right over the head.
I tried to tell him, Rob.
Fox now on top, he hit him with a belt, no, oh my God.
Hey.
We almost had a 3 count.
Mike Fox, the main event, is very upset, Rob. He thought he had the championship back in his back pocket once again.
And now Mike Fox, he's got him up the air. He's going to go for the hot spot. Drops him, he's got the leg up, and Manning in with 2, and once again, only 2.
Only a 2 count, Rob. So close.
Shoving the referee. Do not do that.
Rick Manning used to wrestle bears with Davy Crockett, ladies and gentlemen, not the man to tangle with.
Mike Fox going to try something else here with Steve DeMarco. Got him back up, and I think he's going to go for the hot spot again. And yes, he does. That's 2 hot spots he's hit.
Maybe that's not true. The referee did not wrestle with Davy Crockett. That's not a coonskin cap. His hair is actually that color.
It does actually have those stripes in it, yes. And now Fox getting DeMarco up. What's he going to do with him now? He's going to go for another hot spot. That's 3. That's 3 hot spots. 1, 2, and 3.
The trifecta, Rob. The main event, Mike Fox,
Thomas, what's going on here?
PCW
What are you talking about?
Wrestling Heavyweight Championship title.
Oh, good grief. Well, indeed, the owner, Thomas Bussey, he was willing.
Only fair thing to do was to restart the match. Hey, Fox got the clean win, and it was a good match. Your winner of the match and still PCW World Heavyweight Champion. Main event, Mike Fox.
A great main event, a triple threat match. AJ Styles, Eddie Atlas, and Jarrett Steele.
I don't understand what this company has come to, Rob. It's a new era with new ownership. But I'm noticing a trend, Rob. It's people making up rules as we go along. This is utterly ridiculous. Genocide is a huge event, Rob. This is no time to play around.
Indeed, and in addition to the triple threat match, we're also going to have
awesome, wasn't it? I mean, there was that point where I get the pinfall. I hit this modified sexified, kind of a perfect plex meets the sexified, which I think was Fox's call too, like a good tight, I'm not going to kick out. Great variation of my move. After all of the chaos and to get that win and that crowd erupts, I mean, we had a full house. Man, it was nothing like it. I think we were both like, holy, we got him. I mean, I think at that point would have been completely satisfied with Steve DeMarco, your new PCW champion. But then to have the Swerve and Thomas, who was now in an ownership position. This guy was the cameraman prior to this, and with Kensington's death, he had taken over the reins, and this was kind of his first big show, and there was a lot of chaos in that time, but now he solidifies himself as potentially a heel owner, and it was just a thing of beauty. I mean, the story itself, man, just awesome. And the thing was, you had this owner, and he had his favorites. He had Eddie Atlas. He saw that guy as the future, and with that, I think Jared had taken a step back. So now they're bringing in Angie. And then they got Scotty Master Blaster to be the official title holder for the heavyweight champion, Mike Foxx. So you had these components that seemingly worked the franchise. And then there was talk of bringing back Gabe. Gabe, who I vanquished in January, had worked himself back from injury, and then there was talk of putting him into the mix. And I was okay with that, because again, I had faced him. He was a former nemesis, and him and Fox had a history as competitors and as allies, and now, so there was that dynamic. So I didn't mind it. And there was some great, interesting stuff that led up to that Capital Punishment 2004 DVD, such as getting to face Jeremy Sage. The only time I would get to face Jeremy Sage. I think the only time I've ever faced Jeremy Sage one-on-one. We've done tag matches here and there, but I don't think we've ever faced outside of this one time. And now it's on Facebook, and it was uploaded by Michael Williams, and it's gotten roughly 2,100 hits. It's just a pleasure to work with this guy. I mean, the guy was a graduate of the Shawn Michaels Texas Wrestling Academy, and a lot of those guys from that academy know their psychology, and Jeremy, I think I'd seen him at TWA as part of Board of Education, and then to know that he was kind of one of my fans as far as going to the office at that point and being like, man, you should really give this guy a microphone early on, and all of that just really led to just such admiration for him, and to get the opportunity to work him. And it's sad that it really wasn't a long match or a program, because he was in the midst of his own program, but still one of my highlights. Enjoy.
Actually, now that I think about it, what two athletes are pretty much matched up quite like these two? Similar build, similar size, both technically proficient, both warriors in the ring, Rob. And here he comes, sexy Steve DeMarco with his Date for Destiny, Hey with Destiny, I'll set it out.
And from Miami, Florida, sexy Steve DeMarco!
Listen to the fans here. Most of the ladies in the house, when they're not ogling me, they sure get a treat with Sexy Steve. They tend to dote on the frowner there, so to say.
Well, indeed, the roar from the fans has a certain high pitch to it whenever Steve DeMarco comes out. And Jerry the Book Stevens calls for the bell, and this one is underway. Your opening match tonight here at the PCW Arena.
Yeah, before we get started, just a quick hats off to referee Terry the Book Stevens, professional in the ring, outside of the ring. He's going to be having a little procedure done medically. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, Book.
Yes, indeed, Newman. I totally agree with that, as we now have a side headlock from Jeremy Sage. Twisting it around, going around behind DeMarco, and once again applying the headlock and slapping him on top of the head. Nothing really illegal about that. It's really more annoying than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to seek refuge in the official, you're going to have to come to him after that happens with a closed fist, Rob. That is what would make that maneuver illegal. But you know me, I like to stay abreast of the fashion trends and, pop culture.
Of course you do.
Is that a new outfit being worn by Sexy Steve DeMarco tonight? Kind of a leopard print?
I believe there are several different Jungle Cats represented on the trunks and on the kick pads of Steve DeMarco. Very stylish tonight. Now a side headlock by DeMarco, and now he's slapping Sage on the head.
Yeah, a little tit for tat, so to say, huh, Rob?
Indeed.
DeMarco maintaining that side headlock, and Sage now pounding the midsection, trying to get out, and now whips him across the ring. And a shoulder tackle by DeMarco, and Jeremy Sage is bailing out.
Well, I wouldn't call it bailing out, Rob. I mean, you're talking about one of the smarter men in the ring. What he's doing is he got out. He knows he has a certain allotment of time to get out there and catch his breath while Sexy Steve stands in the ring and plays to the crowd here.
And the crowd does like what they see in Sexy Steve DeMarco. Again, he has got a date set for that PCW World Heavyweight Title, but he's not only got to get through the champion, Mike Foxx, but also Gabe Roach. And look out, DeMarco's got Sage hooked up and over with the suplex.
Yeah, and held that vertical position just momentarily before crashing Jeremy Sage to the canvas. And I'm going to tell you, Rob, when you're getting the ring with the main event, Mike Foxx, I mean, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter how many men are in the ring, it's going to be a challenge. But come recently, we've seen Gabe Roach come back into the scene.
Right.
I mean, the man is a beast now, in the gym, in the ring. I mean, just a remarkable turn of events regarding him.
Oh, look out, DeMarco goes chest first, throat first, if you will, into that top turnbuckle, and it is Jeremy Sage now taking full advantage of that maneuver, and now he's going to whip him across the ring. DeMarco coming off the ropes. Oh, great Samoan drop by Jeremy Sage.
Yeah, that's even more difficult to actually...
Two and only two.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get the pinfall there. Extreme difficulty in putting that Samoan drop when your competitor is on the run. Nice European uppercut.
And now Sage going after DeMarco, choking him on that second rope. And fans, we want to remind you of one thing. We want you to come out here to PCW Arena next week and every Saturday night, because not only do you get the matches you see on TV, there are other matches. Oh, wait a second. There's a cover by Sage and only two other matches that we don't put on TV.
Yeah, there's one going to be next week, Rob. It's going to be me versus you.
Okay. I'll be ready for it.
We can do it right now, smartass.
Okay. Well, let's look at this match in the ring right now, though. DeMarco going head first into the top turnbuckle, and these fans are giving Jeremy Sage lot for. Oh, my God, that sounded like a gunshot. Wow, Jeremy Sage loaded for bear right there. Smacks him again across the chest with that knife-edge chop. But look at DeMarco. He's acting like he doesn't even feel it, and Sage, I'd say Sage is in a little bit of difficulty now. DeMarco stuffs that right hand, and fires in a right hand on his own. Becky Sage up in the corner, and now firing away once again, and it is Sexy Steve DeMarco whipping Sage. Reversal into the other corner, though, and here comes DeMarco with a big elbow.
Yeah, the back end of that elbow met the front end of his face.
And a reverse Russian leg sweep, and DeMarco could have gone for the cover, but he's going for something else instead outside on the apron, and look out, he's going to go for a senton on top of Jeremy Sage.
Yeah, crashing down with that elbow across the head, neck region, Rob. Jeremy Sage obviously winning it.
Two and only a 2 count.
Yeah, there's been several opportunities that have transpired here over the past few minutes, Rob, which this match could have been ended. We could have seen the pinfall. Sexy Steve stomping the canvas, getting ready for that second.
Oh, wait a minute, here goes the champion, main event, Mike Foxx. Jumping DeMarco from behind, and Jerry Stevens going for the bell. That's going to be a disqualification against Jeremy Sage.
Why?
Fox is in there. Mike Foxx interfering. Oh, wait a minute, here comes Gabe Roach.
Rob, this is a complete utter turn of events, Rob. Gabe Roach crouching, the spear cocked and loaded.
Oh my God, Roach just speared Steve DeMarco. Mike Foxx out of the way, and Gabe Roach is out of there.
But did you notice that? Gabe.
So as you can see, here we got me and Jeremy Sage, and I'm getting rocking and rolling and getting ready to end it. And you got Mike Foxx interrupting, and then you got Gabe Roach spearing me, and are they in cahoots? Are they not in cahoots? What's going on? Now, I felt like me and Fox could have had a rematch at Capital Punishment and main evented that show, and it'd been fine. And it would have been good, because I think we still had a lot of steam and a lot of legs, and I think people liked the interaction between us two. But at the same time, again, from a storyline standpoint, and they just had a triple threat, and well, let's put these other guys on a triple threat the next DVD. A few of our big mainstays and originals, and then this young upstart coming into the fold. And it made sense. It made sense. Now, again, probably in the back of my mind, hey, I wanted just a one-on-one because it was such a pleasure to work Fox, and I wanted to do it again. But I had fun with working with Gabe, and I had a chemistry with Gabe, and I knew he brought something to the table. And then when he came back, man, looking like a beast. And we had fun with it. We got to have fun with that build-up, including them presenting a watch, trying to bribe Gabe into joining the fold of the franchise. And well, hey, I love shiny things. And so, well, you can see it. There you go.
PCW. I'm Antonio. Coming up next for the main event, we have Steve DeMarco taking on franchise member Eddie Atlas. Now, 2 weeks ago, a match was set for capital punishment, a triple threat match for the PCW Heavyweight Title between Mike Foxx, Steve DeMarco, and Gabe Roach. Now, last week, the franchise had their first ever watch presentation, only to be rudely interrupted by Steve DeMarco. Let's go there now.
Match of the night.
So what I'd like to do right now is bring Gabe Roach out here and take a piece of history and join the franchise. Now, Gabe, we've been through a lot together, and I think that you realize that this is where you need to be. This is the place to be, brother. All you gotta do is come over here and take the figure piece of what makes us work, and that is the timepiece.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Where's it at? Where's it at? Who took it? Where's it at? Eddie, find it. Find it, Eddie.
Oh, there it is. You know what time it is, Rob? Well, I can see by the time.
Hey, Fox, you looking for this?
Marco.
Pointing this elegant timepiece. It's time for a celebration! A celebration! Look at the timepiece. Look at it! It's even got an inscription. To my heterosexual life mate, Gabe.
Oh, my
Love
God.
Fox. Damn soap operas. I'm just gonna put it where I found it.
Oh, look.
No!
my God.
That's $10,000!
Well, now, where'd DeMarco go?
Someone get out there and grab it!
Oh, my God! Oh, my God! DeMarco! Monster truck! Oh, my!
Rob, that's a stolen car. Steve DeMarco has stolen that car and that watch.
Look at that! He's grinding that wheel on that watch, trying to get into 50.
Dave, listen! We'll get you another one! If money is no object!
Gayberg!
Man, shut up, Eddie!
Man, what a hoot. What a hoot. Getting to work, getting that truck that had backward, back wheel steering, and getting to destroy a watch with a overlarged vehicle, and getting the last laugh on the franchise, and kind of getting that victory at that point. Man. Just awesome. Just good times. And everybody's facials, and Eddie Atlas, who had just returned in a Genocide, saying Gayberg, which is something we would call Gabe, behind the scenes and whatnot. And just fun. Just a good time. Now, as I mentioned, Atlas returns. And he had came back from Puerto Rico and had a good run, and wanted to be back in the States, and was trying out, trying different things. I think we were both trying different things. Like, he was going to try to go to TNA or WWE, and I was contemplating that, but was in the midst of this run. But I got a chance to work him in another classic. So enjoy.
Come on now. Two things my daddy taught me before he died. Shut your mouth! Shut it! One was to treat mama with respect. Two was wrestling. Steve DeMarco, get out here and get your wrestling lesson courtesy of Eddie Atlas.
All right, Eddie Atlas has said his piece. We're about to see his opponent, the man who will be a part of that big triple threat match for the PCW World Heavyweight Title. Sexy Steve DeMarco, and there he is, man.
Yeah, he's a felon. Yeah, cheer the felon. That's great, people.
Well, in any case, Certainly, he's got a tough road to climb. After all, he will be in there with Fox and Rhodes, two guys who will probably be so busy trying to beat the snot out of each other that DeMarco could find himself the odd man out.
Say what you want, Steve DeMarco is a no-good, dirty felon. He stole the $10,000 timepiece that the main event was going to give to Gabe Roach, and he stole some ungodly tractor and destroyed the merchandise robbers.
Well, in any case, this match is underway. Jamie Aller is the man in the striped shirt officiating this one. Career versus career, Shadow versus Jeremy Sage.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. You knew something like this was coming. I mean, it all stems from well beyond, Rob, the chain on the pole match that we saw a few months ago. I mean, these guys have traveled up and down the roads together. Oftentimes, coming to splits, and one going one way, one to the other. Huge maneuver by DeMarco.
Well, as you've obviously seen in Wild West movies, this town ain't big enough for the two of them, Shadow and Jeremy Sage go after capital punishment. One of them is going to be out of PCW as we see a great hip toss there by Steve DeMarco. Pushing Atlas through the ropes all the way to the floor. Other title matches on the line, of course, the tag team belts, the professionals, the Dark Circle, no rules in that one.
No rules whatsoever, Rob. Just last week, weapons were introduced into the equation, and I'm going to tell you, you start getting into a battle of weaponry, the last person you want to have on the other end is the Dark Circle.
Absolutely, and what about the television title, originally scheduled as champion Chris Stevens against Canyon, but now you've got Canyon who will be challenging Jared Steele, who is defending the belt on behalf of Chris Stevens.
Yeah, defending a belt that's not even his, Rob. How about that?
Well, Stevens wanted them to defend it. Steele says yes, and apparently that is going to go down that way as we... Oh, a hard shot to the chest there by Eddie Atlas as Angie patrols ringside. She came out with Eddie, and Steve DeMarco trying for a clothesline, and Atlas missing with the clothesline, and now got him with a roll-up. DeMarco, only a 2 count there. And now got him by the foot and kicks him right in the face, back into the corner. And Angie's got to be deeply concerned for Eddie Atlas right now. Angie, of course, a full-fledged member of the franchise.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little excited now to see the momentum starting to go into the favor of Eddie Atlas. World-class athlete, Rob. Been on Raw several times. I've seen him 2 tours in Puerto Rico, making his way back home to Arlington, Texas, just in time to deliver crushing boots to the back of Steve DeMarco.
And once again, Eddie Atlas is going to be at Capital Punishment. He will take on Action Jackson. AJ wanted Thomas Fussy in the ring, but Thomas said, well, you got to take on Eddie Atlas first. And AJ wants his commissionership back if he wins. And Thomas said, okay, fine. So we've got that match coming up at Capital Punishment.
Yeah, ever since the franchise has taken control, Rob, as Eddie Atlas relinquishes the hold they had on Steve DeMarco, ever since they've taken control, Action Jackson has been powerless, except the fact that these fans out here, for some reason, I don't know, seem to have, taken a kindness to the guy, and they support him in everything it does. I'm reminded of that strap match where they turned against us.
Well, indeed, that strap match left quite a few welts all over the body of Eddie Atlas. Oh, and a backbreaker by Atlas, and that's got to put Steve DeMarco away. On top with a cover, too, and, well, DeMarco gets his feet in the ropes, breaks it up, but now another pin, and DeMarco kicks out. Look at this, both feet being firmly planted into the shoulder blades of DeMarco.
Just grinded it even worse, Rob. Not only that ball and socket joint, I've never had a separated shoulder, a dislocated shoulder, but you hear often from athletes one of the harder injuries to overcome.
Absolutely, now DeMarco coming up, elbows to the midsection, he ducks under a clothesline, and DeMarco up and over, going for the sunset.
Don't get it.
Oh my gosh, he yanks him down one, and only a 1 count. Got to pull his stuff back up, takes him out with a clothesline.
Rob, you ever eaten mountain oysters?
No.
Me neither.
Okay. Eddie Atlas now stomping on sexy Steve DeMarco. I have a feeling that it's just possible, this is just speculation on my part, but it could be that Atlas is under orders from the franchise to put Steve DeMarco away to make things a little easier for the world champion Mike Foxx at Capital Punishment.
I mean, you're very much correct, Rob. That could be a possibility. But why on earth would you think that Eddie Atlas wouldn't approach each and every match the same? I mean, he's a warrior inside the ropes.
And a reversal of the whip, another reversal, and now, a reverse Russian leg sweep. Takes the man down, and it is Steve DeMarco now.
Come on, Eddie, get up to your feet.
Man, to a vertical base now. Eddie Atlas trying to get up, and he does make it up. And a kick to the midsection by DeMarco, and now a whip into the corner, and Atlas comes out right into a backdrop. Oh, my God. And a drop kick by DeMarco.
As soon as he got to his feet, DeMarco was right there to meet him.
Yes, he was, and now Atlas is up against the ropes, and DeMarco with a whip. Oh, wow, what a clothesline.
Oh, my God, Robert.
He could have fractured the man's jaw right there.
Angie's got to make out with that guy later. He's going to ruin his chances.
And now Steve DeMarco waiting on Atlas, and now with a boot, but Atlas with a kick to the midsection. And he was going for the Atlas, but it was DeMarco with a DDT.
I saw the knee coming, Rob. I thought it was going to go right to the mouth of DeMarco, but countered just in time.
DeMarco got in the way in the nick of time. Indeed, he did. And now Sexy Steve going up onto the second rope, perched on that top rope, waiting for Atlas. Now find a way with that right hand, and look out. Looks like he's going to go. He could go for a victory roll. And but Atlas
don't let it go.
Holding on to the rope. That's it. And that's the 3 count. Eddie Atlas.
Look at it, Rob. Play the music. Please, the sound man, play the music. Eddie Atlas victorious again.
I mean, anytime I got to work with Atlas, the chemistry and the story, and he's just a phenomenal guy as far as from a worker standpoint, just a great guy to be in the ring with, and really a definite good test for me leading up to Capital Punishment 2004. Now, unfortunately, I don't have Capital Punishment 2004. I don't have it. I rarely have seen it. I think I've seen it once or twice since it aired. Yeah, I don't even have a copy of that DVD. But, yeah, I will say this. The match is and was what it was. I think it was a very solid match. I think all of us really represented ourselves well. I do remember Jamie Aller, who at that point was helping with the editing, the production, and helping with filming. He was doing refereeing. He kind of doing everything for our show. But I do recall him coming over to where I was staying at the Reaver, and actually us doing a sit-down interview for the build-up to Capital Punishment 2004. He didn't just do it with me, he did it with Gabe and with Fox. And, you know, we kind of quasi-shoot, and it was, you know, legitimate feelings about it and whatnot, and but I never got to see the finished product, which sucks. Like I said, I don't have any of the Capital Punishment 2004 footage, and for that I am deeply sorry, because I would have liked to see it. I would like to see how it really turned out. It's been years since I've seen it, so now, before I end this, and kind of leading up to the next video, after Capital Punishment 2004, dark days ahead for PCW. It was kind of in chaos already. There were guys talking about leaving right after Capital Punishment 2004, because we were going to gear up for Fight Win Survive 2004, and but there was other stuff which was going to change the dynamic. But a few guys were leaving, a couple of guys were doing other shows in the area, and it was becoming kind of a, okay, you know, what are we going to do? Because PCW, we just found out after Capital Punishment 2004 that we had lost television. And like I said, it changed stuff, and it will be the topic of my next video. And I'll also talk about in the next video being on a movie set and playing Jesus, actually, for a movie role. Getting paid really well to do some stuff that was pretty normal for me. And again, I enjoy everyone who takes the time to watch these videos. I get some great feedback from friends, from peers, who say they like my stuff, and no matter how long it is, they seem to enjoy it. I mean, it's just kind of a great stroll down memory lane. And it's a great stroll down memory lane for me. And I appreciate all those that support me. Like these guys. I'm not really sure what the next shirt's going to be, but yeah, I'm sure I'll post a picture when that time comes. But as I always like to end these, stay cool, stay sexy, stay classy. Enjoy the Rumble. Enjoy wrestling. Enjoy your visits at the Lucha Lounge. Until next time, later.